What's up? What's up? What's up? Of course, it's me, your boy Richie Rich at Consumer Prime Support. Shoot another awesome video, cause that's what we do. Man, what's up? What's up? You know, Consumer Prime Support, we review appliances. Today we're gonna focus on a Frigidaire French door refrigerator. From the looks of this refrigerator, man, it has a lot of functions and features. And of course, this is that portion of the video, so that's what we're gonna dive into next. So make sure you check that out, the functions and the features. All right, so we're gonna break down this appliance, man, to let you know exactly what can it do. You didn't purchase this appliance, brought it home, so we're gonna talk about some of the bells and whistles. So this is where you actually sit back, relax, and enjoy us as we review this appliance. Also, don't forget, remember, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notifications to let you know when we put out a new video. You get those alerts so that you can check those out. And if you're in need of purchasing an appliance, always remember, email us, man, we got you. All right, so let's rock with this video real quick. Let's see what we got. Right now, of course, you can see behind me Frigidaire Gallery. You see the model number GRF SAM 2853 Alpha Frank. All right, so we're just gonna let that rock for a second. Of course, we told you this is a Frigidaire Gallery. Frigidaire got different models that you can use as well. So they have your standard Frigidaire, you got Frigidaire Gallery, and I forgot what the other one is that they possibly have that's higher than this, but you can always check it out and Google it for yourself. All right, so it has smudge-proof stainless steel protection. All right, so this particular unit, when you touch it, it doesn't have a lot of smudges, because when you're dealing with stainless steel, it can have fingerprints all over it. So this is almost their version of the finger-proof resistance, but they're calling it smudge-proof. All right, so same exact thing. All right, so as you can see, French door refrigerator, stainless steel, dispenser in the front. You have different models where you can get the actual dispenser inside. So we're going to look at both of those because both of them is in the owner's manual, so we're going to talk about them a little bit. But this is the model that we're really focusing on because this is the one that we shot at our local store. And of course, you have the freezer at the bottom. All right, so we're going to check this out, dive into the owner's manual real quick. 27.8 cubic feet French door, and this is the internal portion of the refrigerator, event temp, pure air filter. All right, so we're just gonna pause it right there, let that sit for a second, dive into the owner's manual. You already know this is a Frigidaire product. This is the owner's manual, use and care. Couple things that we always talk about, man. Always make sure you check out the owner's manual, read the information on top, especially when you're dealing with the electrical safety precautions. Here you have your model number if you want to check it out as well. But safety precautions are always important. All right, important safety information, warning, cautions, danger, all that type of stuff as well. All right, so let's dive into this appliance, see what we got. All right, so you do have your features. This is on page number 6, internal water dispenser model. All right, so it actually breaks down each individual component inside of the refrigerator depending on the model that you have. Like I said, this one has the internal controls where you see, which is number S, letter S, and then you have the other one that's the external, so you'll be able to see a combination of both inside the owner's manual. But you can see 27.8 cubic feet. Really nice refrigerator. You can put some stuff in. You have also the freezer at the bottom that has multiple shelvings. Also, this unit has 2 ice makers. All right, so that's one of the things, one in the freezer, and then of course one in the refrigerator. All right, so this breaks down all the parts, all the components. All you got to do is just look at the letter. All right, so this is the external water dispenser model. All right, so you have one that's internal and one that's external. The one that we have is internal. I'm sorry, external. All right, so if we look at it, our dispenser, which is the letter T and U, that's where this is. Your ice maker here, this has multiple ice maker. One is H and the other one is S. Then you have the freezer at the bottom. You do have both sides doors, the left and the right, up top. All right, so you can see that. We're gonna let that rock for a second. Don't want to hold you guys up with that. All right, so one of the things that we're gonna talk about, we're gonna let the video roll a little bit so that we can get a little bit more information from the video. You can see glass shelves, sliding shelves you can push out. If you have bigger cups and glasses that you really want to fit there, you have your wine glasses, or you have wine bottles, right? You can push that back and secure more space for that as well. So you can see that different shelving. So we're going to go a little bit into the storage. So you can see that there's anything that they will recommend. We can check that out inside the owner's manual there. So I'm just going to pause, go into the storage. All right, so it says storage features. Doors, storage bin varies by model. It says the doors to your refrigerator compartment use a system of modular storage bins. All of these bins are removable for easy cleaning. Some of them have fixed positions, while others can be adjusted to your needs. Door bins are ideal for storing jars, bottles, cans, and large drink containers. They also enable quick selection of for frequently used items. All right, so you do have the bins in the freezer as well, but we're just going to focus on the refrigerator at this time. You can see here adjustable door bins on the left hand side, the left door. You can also do that in the freezer as well, but we can talk about that when we get to that portion of it. You have your storage features, upper freezer basket. All right, so that's up there in the freezer, so we can check that out later once we get into the freezer. All right, storage, food and safety energy. It says ideal for storing foods, refrigerator storage. Keep the refrigerator compartment between 34 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit with an optimum temperature of 37 degrees Fahrenheit. It says avoid overcrowding the refrigerator shelves, which reduces air circulation and causes uneven cooling. It says avoid placing food in front of airports. All right, so you want to be careful when you're putting your food in where the airports are, where the vents are, especially if it's vented from the back. That will cause the stuff in the back to freeze up a lot more, because that's the coldest part in the refrigerator, because that's where the vent is. It also blocks the circulation of the air, so you don't want to overstuff or overfill the refrigerator, because that has an effect on it, because it's not going to cool properly. Most of the stuff probably won't get cooled if you have something big back there, like milk cartons, you know, stuff blocking it. So if stuff like that block it, then that will cause poor air circulation. Fruits and vegetables. It says store fruits and vegetables in crisper drawers when trapped moisture helps preserve food quality for longer time periods. So you want to do that. Wash items and remove excess water. Wrap any items that have strong odors or high moisture content. All right, when we're dealing with meat, wrap raw meat and poultry separately and securely to prevent leaks and contamination of other foods or surfaces. Use the deli drawer to store meat, poultry for short-term storage. Any meat to be kept longer than 2 days should be frozen. All right, then you have your frozen food storage. Keep the freezer compartment at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so that goes into the freezer. I really don't want to get into that until we actually get into the portion of the freezer, but it's still talking about storage, temperature settings. Food storage, avoid overcrowding the refrigerator or blocking cold air vents. All right, so we just discussed that a few minutes ago as well, so you can read that inside the owner's manual. Doing so causes the refrigerator to run longer and use more energy. All right, cover foods and wipe containers dry before placing them in the refrigerator. This cuts down on moisture buildup inside the unit. Organize the refrigerator to reduce door openings. Remove as many items as needed at one time. Close the door as soon as possible. Do not place hot container directly on cold shelf. That makes a lot of sense. Remember, such an extreme temperature change may damage the glass. Again, it's cold in the refrigerator. You put something hot there, it can break the glass. All right, so you just want to be careful of that. All right, so let's see what else we have here in store for the storage. All right, so a couple things that we can look at where it's talking about storage features, right? Shelves to avoid personal injury or property damage. Handle tempered glass shelves carefully. All right, so you want to make sure you read that caution so that you are safe. It says you can easily adjust self position in the refrigerator compartments to suit your needs. The shelves have mounting brackets that attach to slotted supports at the rear of each compartment. All right, so I'm hoping that we have that in a video, or to have a picture that you can actually see here, how to really secure the actual shelves. You'll know if they're secured. They're sturdy. Normally if you put them side by side, they should be at the same length. That's another way to check. Or you can actually put some force down on it a little bit just to make sure that that the refrigerator shelves are really secured. It says remove all food from shelf, lift the food edge up and pull the shelf out. Alright, so you want to be careful with that. Replace by inserting the mounting bracket hooks into the desired support slots. So they do have individual hooks, so you want to make sure that you actually put that in there. Lower the shelf and lock into position. Alright, this is to adjust, slide under shelf, push front half shelf backward towards rear or cabinet until the rear half. So that's what we showed you initially in the video there, how to slide it back and forth. It's really seamless. It's not a big issue how to do it. It's not difficult. It's not hard. All right, so you want to make sure that you're comfortable doing that. I understand you can use that to your benefit. All right, reposition for air seal. For glass shelves, remove air seal by pushing seal straight back. Position the air seal towards the outside edge of the shelf to avoid the air tower with shelf is pushed back into place. Install seal by sliding the open channel end of the seal on back edge of shelf until seats snug on back of shelf and flap is at about a 10-degree angle from shelf surface. All right, then you got some important information. Be aware of the air located at the rear of the shelf. Shelves located on the left side should have the air seal mounted on the far left side. Alright, so shelves located on the right side should have the air mounting on the far right side. This is to ensure there is no interference with the larger air tower on the back wall of the cabinet. This also applies to the crisper shelves. Alright, so you just want to make sure, again, a lot of these things have air passages that allows the air to come through, so it circulates the air, keep your refrigerator cool. You want to make sure you put them on the right way so that it doesn't affect it or block the air passages from coming out. All right, and you can actually see right here in the owner's manual in the diagram that they show at the bottom here. All right, so that should be able to help you guys a lot. We can dive into the storage drawers a little bit, so let's get back into the video. You can see that Crisper Plus, right? That's this Crisper drawer there. You can see that. Then you can also see the other drawer at the bottom here as well. All right, and it has a adjustable temperature drawer. We're going to go into all that, so we can actually pause that there. But before we get into that, again, removing the crispers is not difficult to do. Slide them in and out, pretty straightforward. To remove auto humidity control membrane. All right, so that's a couple of things you want to look at here. One, we can actually put in the crispers. Crisper drawers are designed for storing fruits, vegetables, and other fresh produce. All right, the drawers, your refrigerator includes a variety of storage drawers. All right, to remove the auto humidity control membrane, remove any shelves placed above the crisper cover, then lift up and remove the crisper cover from the unit. Remove 3 screws on the bottom of the crisper cover to release the auto humidity cover. Slide out auto humidity cover from the crisper cover to gain access to the humidity membrane. Clean membrane with hot soapy water. Replace membrane and cover by reversing the steps above. All right, so you do have the crispy humidity control. Crispy drawers are designed for storing fresh fruits, vegetables. We talked about that, and produce. Crisper drawers have an auto humidity control on the back of each crisper under the humidity control cover. All right, so you just want to keep that in mind there. All right, you don't want to block those different things. All right, removing auto humidity control membrane, you can do that as well. Then of course you have different filters. Here, pure air produce keeper. All right, so it says the crisper drawer ethylene absorbers help to keep food fresher longer in crisper drawers. See filter replacement section for details on how to order replacement. All right, so you have these inside the crisper drawer, so I'm kind of glad we actually went through this here so you could be able to see that as well, that the crisper drawers have air fresheners in them so they can smell good. All right, that's where we are. All right, so just a little bit more. It says storage features here. To remove the crisper drawer with pure air, produce a keeper for cleaning. All right, so this you have to remove it back and forth. You can see that there, and it slides in. Push the crisper drawer once. The button rollers clear the front deli crisper support rollers. To replace the crisper drawers with pure air, produce keeper. After cleaning, place the crisper drawer on top of the deli cover and tilt upwards slightly. All right, so that's what we have there. So I really want to get into the adjustable temperature drawer here. You can see that adjustable temperature drawer. You have the temperature adjustable temp. You have the lock button, which is number 1. All right, it says ideal for storage of deli meats, cheese, and beverages. All right, so number 1, it says lock control. The drawer automatically defaults to a lock state to prevent any unwanted use. To change the drawer setting, it first needs to be unlocked. To unlock, press and hold the unlock icon for 3 seconds. It would automatically lock after 10 seconds without any interaction. All right, so you see that there. All right, hold it for 3 seconds. I would say between 3 and 5, and it locks everything. Especially if you have kids like playing with buttons, it locks it so it doesn't, so that won't happen. You have your meat / seafood. Select meat / seafood for short-term storage. Any meat to be kept longer than 2 days should be frozen. A tone will sound to confirm choice. All right, cold drinks settings. Select cold drinks when storing individual package beverages such as soda cans or juices. A tone will sound to confirm choice. You also have deli / snacks. All right, so it says select deli / snacks when storing meats and cheese. A tone will sound to confirm. Important, do not use the adjustable temperature drawer to store fresh produce, as these items may freeze and cause damage to the fruits and leafy vegetables stored in the drawer. Really important there for you to understand that is specific to what's supposed to be in there: meat / seafood, cold drinks, or deli and snacks. Because of the temperature, it will freeze up and damage a lot of the fruits and vegetables. All right, so that's pretty cool there. So we can actually allow the video to keep rolling as we dissect the joint. You can see it there, the lock button is on. Now the lock button is deactivated. You can press it to different settings, meat, cold, drinks, and all that. And then of course you can pull the drawers out. You can see there, initially there's a couple filters that's already that's inside the drawer there. You can use that as well. All right, so I don't want us to really miss that. I didn't want us to really miss the filter, so I'm just gonna go back a little bit so that you'll be able to see the filter there. All right, that's where you actually replace your water filter. All right, always remember, replace the water filter every 6 months. Your refrigerator is smart enough to remind you to let you know that it needs to be replaced, so you want to make sure that you consider that as well. All right, so that's really good there. We don't really have to really go too much into that. It's a water filter. All right, so we're gonna let the video rock. So we got the storage on the left side of the door. That's where the dispenser is, and the ice comes in up top there as well. So you can add some stuff in a lot of these different shelvings where you can put stuff in to help you out. All right, so now we're gonna go into the ice maker, right? The automatic ice maker. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. All right, so the automatic ice and water dispenser, external dispenser refrigerator ice maker. So again, it depends on which one you have. The one that we have is external. They do have a video for the internal one. You can check that out in the owner's manual. Of course, that's going to be in the description box as well. All right, so this is what we have. Cleaning the ice maker. Clean the ice maker and ice bin at regular intervals, especially prior to vacation or moving. All right, so it's basically just turn off the ice maker. You have that option that you can press as well. Lift the ice bin upward, then pull straight out to remove. Empty and carefully clean the ice bin with mild detergent. Do not use harsh or abrasive cleaners. Rinse with clean water. One of the benefits when you first purchase a new appliance, especially a refrigerator, when it makes the first couple batches of ice, we suggest that you actually dump it, because you just want to make sure that the filter is working properly. It's a brand new product. So whatever ice it makes initially for the first few times, I would dump that and start back over. All right, so you want to be able to do that. Never use ice pick or similar sharp instruments to break up the ice. All right, because again, you can puncture a hole inside the ice maker bucket. It is plastic, and when it does crack, it allows fresh air to come through. It develops moisture, so it'll cause your refrigerator ice to either melt, and then when it freezes back over, it's really hard, then you're not going to be able to get the ice out. All right, so you want to be able to think about that. Important when removing or replacing the ice bin, avoid rotating auger in the ice bin. If the auger is accidentally rotated, you must realign the auger by turning it in a 45 degrees turn. All right, so yeah, sometimes it gets trapped. It's not in the right position, so you're not able to slide everything back and slide it flush. All right, adjusting ice bin, so you can just turn the auger there. All right, so it's not much to it, but automatic ice and water dispenser. So this is the external, right? I mean the internal. We have the external. All right, so this is basically how it looks. Again, if you want to look at that model, you have that model, you can check that unit out. You have using the water dispenser after installation, water dispense, and you can hold it for 3 seconds, stuff like that. Then you got your water dispenser on the inside. All right, so we don't have that, we have it on the outside, so we're going to focus on the one on the outside. But we are talking about the ice maker. The freezer has an ice maker as well. You do have an on and off button to your ice maker. If you feel as though you're going on vacation, you want to turn it off, or if you already have enough ice, you can also turn it off if you like. All right, the ice maker operation and care is after the refrigerator is installed properly, the ice maker can produce ice within 24 hours. When using the ice maker the first time, and in order for it to work properly, it is necessary to clear air from the water tubing and the filter. Furthermore, if the system is not flushed, the first ice cubes may be discolored or have an odd flavor. All right, so this happens when you replace your filter. You want to make sure you flush the system. So normally we'll say get about 3 or 4 cups after you replace the filter. Run the dispenser, let it fill up about 3 to 4 cups. After that, all the air and the sentiments from the old filter, if it's a new refrigerator as well, you want to be able to push all that stuff off because it has not been used. So you want to be able to, it's almost like purging the water or flush the water through the system by using the dispenser. All right, and of course always remember, turn off your ice maker. You can do that to help you out some as well. All right, and you got sounds and stuff that you should be hearing or used to hearing. All right, ice making storage bin capacity, we're not going to really get into that because that's not much there. All right, so you got different options where you can clean the ice maker as well. All that is up to you. If you want to really be able to do that, that is perfectly fine there. All right, so we're going to get back to the actual video. You can see ice maker, you have the door on the, or the handle on the side. Inside the ice maker, this is where the auger motor is and allows the bin to spin and rotate. So again, it's not really big, but it's a lot of space, a lot of room for you to make error where it's not secured properly. So just be careful of that. All right, that is the ice maker bin. You could always probably order that as an assembly, right? You slide it back in, it goes back pretty safe, pretty secured. Not a lot of issues there. So this is the right side of the door. When you're facing it, you can see different storage spaces that you can use and make different adjustments depending on what's in it. Always be careful to not put too much stuff on these bins. The bins are plastic, they tend to break and crack, so you want to keep that in mind as well. All right, so this here we have your refrigerator temperature, your water dispenser, crushed or cube ice, ice maker, reset your air filter, reset your water filter, chill boost, all these different things here. So we're going to dive into that because this is the one that we have. We're not going to go into the internal one. We're going to go into the one that we have on our video, so we can just keep it simple and easy. All right, control settings. All right, external water dispenser control display, sleep mode. All right, so this is what it looks like when it's in sleep mode. Controls and setting. All right, so again, we talked about the sleep mode display, everything that you see there: freezer boost, cold drink temp, ice maker, the lock, water dispenser, cubed, crushed, the light, reset, air, and chill boost. And of course you have your plus and your minus to increase or decrease the temperature. Sleep mode, as a default, the display will go to sleep after a short time. If any icon is pressed, the display will be awakened. After a short time, it will go back to sleep. When the sleep mode, wake up the display to confirm ice maker is on/off. Sleep mode can be turned off to have the display on full time awake mode. All right, so you do have the option there. When sleep mode is off, the display will always be illuminated. Turn sleep mode on and off. Simultaneously press and hold the crushed and light icons for 5 seconds. Tone will confirm. All right, crushed and ice, holding these two buttons together. And this is what it looks like when it's in awake mode. All right, so your freezer temperature is at 0, manufacturer setting. Your refrigerator is at 37, another manufacturer setting. All right, so if you have any issues with the temperature, you feel as though it might be too cold, or you're not really sure what the temperature should be according to what is recommended by the manufacturer, check out our videos. All right, and of course we'll have that information in the description box as well to be able to help you. All right, To change from sleep mode on to wake mode off. Simultaneously press and hold the crushed ice. All right, so we just talked about that. All right, so you can see different settings that you have here as well. External water dispenser control display. All right, so we can dive into that. Freeze boost on and off. It says prior to grocery shopping, we recommend you activate freeze boost to lower the temperature and freeze food faster. Freeze boost will remain active for up to 24 hours before automatically deactivating or manually exiting by pressing freeze boost to turn the functions off. This will reset the freezer to the previous temperature setting. All right, cool drink timer. So it quickly chills a drink inside the freezer compartment to enable touch the cold drink timer key. All right, see, somebody like me that don't really have a lot of ice, go to the grocery store. If the juice is not even cold, then you put them in the refrigerator. I like this option where you have the cool drink timer. Help your drink get cool a lot faster inside of the freezer display. It can be changed plus or minus the buttons, of course. A tone will sound when the time has been input. Ranges from 20 to 45 minutes in 5 minute intervals. Drinks will freeze if temperature setting is too low or timer setting is too long. All right, of course, we have the ice maker setting there. Press and hold for 3 seconds to turn the ice maker on and off. All right, so you have this setting here. You can turn your ice maker when indicator is lit. Ice maker is on. When indicator is not lit, ice maker is off. State will stop making ice. All right, while off, ice dispenser can continue as long as there is ice in the bucket. When ice maker is off, an ice bin dispenser indicator will blink. Lock controls, we talk about that as well. Locking the control. You have power outage. In the event of a power outage, the power outage alert will be eliminated once power has been restored and a tone will sound. Press any button to silence the tone. All right, so you have that setting there. External water dispenser control, adjusting temperature. Illuminates when temperatures are changed on the display and will remain illuminated until the desired temperatures are reached inside the refrigerator and freezer. Press either the plus or minus to adjust to desired temperature. All right, so we told you guys that how to really do it. Your freezer temp is controlled temperatures range from negative 6 degrees Fahrenheit to plus 6 degrees Fahrenheit. You do have Celsius, so if you're in Canada, I know only in the US we use the Fahrenheit, but if you're in Canada, you can do Celsius, and of course it's negative 21 degrees Celsius and a negative 15 degrees Celsius. Refrigerator controlled temperature, you're talking about plus 34 to plus 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius is plus 1, and of course plus 7. All right, this unit is designed to operate at 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Refrigerator is 0 degrees for the freezer. All right, so we talked about a lot of that stuff as well. All right, making sure that the temperature is on the right setting. All right, open the door. You have an alert. When you open the door, it says the alert indicates the door has been open for 5 minutes or more. The door open LED illuminates and the audible alert sounds until the door is closed. The audible alert can be turned off by pressing the door open key or by closing the door. If the door is open for 5 minutes, the interior light will turn off. All right, so you want to consider that as well. Water filter display illuminates every 6 months or when filter needs replacing. Replace the filter, then press and hold reset water filter for 3 seconds to deactivate the warning on display. See placing the filter for more information. All right, same thing for the air filter there as well, so that it can circulate the air, smell good inside the refrigerator as well. Display illuminates every 6 months. All right, water dispenser, press the water key to select water and indicate light will be illuminated above the active feature. If you want cubed or crushed, press the cube, select cube key to select cube. All right, and of course your indicator will illuminate above the active feature. All right, so crush, you do the same thing. You can toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. So that's one of the things that you want to check for. I've had customers where I come out to that had issues with their refrigerator not probably cooling properly because they had it switched over to Celsius and they didn't know how to switch it back. So all this stuff is inside the owner's manual, so you want to check that out. Chill boost prior to the grocery store. So we talked about the chill boost and increasing the temperature on here. Prior to grocery, we could recommend you activate the chill boost to lower the temperature and cool food faster. Chill boost will remain active for up to 6 hours before automatically deactivating or manually exiting by pressing chill boost. All right, so you do have the option to turn the function off. All right, resetting the filter. We talked about those a lot, and of course you can toggle the lights. All right. So, and we always talk about the setting, the recommended settings for this refrigerator. Setting cooling temperature, press plus or minus between next to the refrigerator or freezer temperature display to adjust the temperature to the desired setting. All right, so that's what we have there. External water dispenser control display. So we can go into a little bit more of that so we have better understanding what's going on. You also have your clear alerts, door open. We talked about that. High temperature alert. That's something that we can look into. An alert sounds in the event of a high temperature condition. The control panel displays high on whichever compartment the alarm is detecting in, and the alarm sounds every 10 seconds until acknowledged. All right, so a lot of the refrigerators, like I said, these days are a lot smarter. So what they do is, if your refrigerator is having temperature issues, right? Just to say if you're having an issue where the compressor might not be working, your refrigerator will start beeping to let you know that, hey, your refrigerator temperature is a little bit too high. It's going to continue to keep beeping, and it's going to display an HI inside of your refrigerator to let you know that the temperature is high. So you might want to be able to call for service at that time. If it's under warranty, we suggest contact Frigidaire, and they'll be able to instruct you properly that way. Power outages, we talk about that. The flapper for dispenser models only. If the flapper or ice chute door is held open by a jammed ice cube, all right, or crushed, is selected, an alarm sounds and current selection blinks on the dispenser control. The alarm resets when the ice cube is removed. All right, not for every model. This is unique. I know that customers had issues with this before, where it can get trapped depending on how much ice you get. And what happens is, if the door is trapped open, the ambient air from outside goes into the refrigerator, freezes everything up. So you can see a whole bunch of ice build up right where the ice bucket is, right where the dispenser chute is, where the ice come through. So you want to think about that as well. So you can actually see that, man, that you can see a lot of the ice build up inside the refrigerator because of that. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, so you just want to check it and make sure that the door is closed properly. One of the things you can do, if you can get a flashlight to shoot directly through the dispenser door while it's closed, if you're able to see the reflection of the light, that's sometimes an indication to let you know that air can escape through it. So you want to make sure, if you need help or any assistance, contact Frigidaire if it's under warranty. If not, contact a service provider. The Sabbath mode is a feature that disables portion of the refrigerator, and it controls in accordance with ordinances of the weekly Sabbath and religious holidays within the Orthodox Jewish community. All right, so a lot of the times when I go to different homes in the Jewish community, they will sometimes have tape on the door switches. Sometimes they might take the light out, depending on how old the refrigerator is, where you can just unscrew the light bulb and take those out. A lot of the appliances are having Sabbath mode inside of a lot of the components, so that you won't have to do that. You just have to select the Sabbath mode. All right, so this one, how to really do it, is that Sabbath mode is turned on and off by simultaneously pressing and holding both the freezer and fresh food for 10 seconds. The display shows SB while in Sabbath mode. All right, so you're just gonna hold those two modes together. All right, FB, freezer boost. All right, and the refrigerator temperature, frozen food, FF, so that you'll be able to put it in Sabbath mode. In the Sabbath mode, the high temperature alarm is active for health reasons. For example, if the door is left ajar, the high temperature alarm is activated. The refrigerator will function normally once the door is closed. Without any violation of the Sabbath/holidays, the high temperature alarm is permitted with cabinet temperatures is outside the safe zone for 20 minutes. The alarm silences itself after 10 minutes, while the high temperature icon stays lit until the Sabbath mode is exited. All right, of course, for further assistant guidance for proper usage and complete list of models with the Sabbath feature, please visit blah blah blah. You have the website. All right, for place within 1 inch of fruit of airports. All right, so that's a lot of the information there that we've talked about. This particular refrigerator, ice bin, dispenser. All right, we can dive into that a little bit. I'm using the dispenser after installation, before making ice for the first time. Sure to prime the water supply system. We talk a lot about that. Air and new plumbing lines can result in 2 or 3 empty ice maker cycles. All right, so you want to think about that. Begin filling the system by pressing and holding a drinking glass against the water dispenser paddle. Keep the glass in the position until the water comes out of the dispenser. It may take about 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes. All right. Continue dispensing water for about 4 minutes to flush the system and plumbing connection. So we talk a lot about that so that you'll be able to do that. All right, so let's get back to the video. You can actually see that we're pressing the buttons, different settings, water, crushed, cubed, ice. You got your light that comes on. You do have the paddle that you press. So this is where you put your glass in. Water comes in directly through that. There you do have a light. Then you have the chute up top. So you just want to make sure that chute is not blocked. All right. So that's just where we are with this refrigerator, man. Pretty cool refrigerator. So now we're going to go into the freezer. We talked about the ice maker there as well. Going into the refrigerator, pulling out the drawer. You have the lower drawer there. Give me 1 second. It is adjustable, and that's one of the benefits of doing a lot of these things, that it is adjustable. All right, so freezer accessories. We're moving upper freezer basket. All right, not a difficult to do, but you can see that it can be done inside the owner's manual. You have different tabs that you got to push in so that you can pull the unit out. Got to be careful. The more stuff it is inside of it, the heavier it is, harder for it to come out. All right, so keep that in mind, because I've tried to take out a lot of them with stuff already in it. So got to open up both doors to give you some space, and you can slide it out if you have stuff inside of it. All right, you do have lock mechanism on here that you can see that you can push in so that the unit is secured and it just doesn't wobble, it doesn't come out. Lower basket divider, grab and hold on lower divider. All right, so you can see how to really do that. You have the divider, you can go whichever side you want to slide it on. All right. All right, so we're going to let this video roll. You can see inside of it, really nice size. You can see the divider there. And of course, you got your ice bucket on top. You can add more stuff there as well. This is the inside of the refrigerator. These were the venting, and the fan circulates the air inside of the freezer. You can look to the left, you see the ice maker here as well. You have your door switched here, so when you slide the basket back or the door, it actually deactivates this and shuts the light off. So we got a really good view of inside of the freezer as well. We really like that, so we're going to do that more often as well. So you'll be able to slide that inside the refrigerator. Outside of that, man, this is it. I'm your boy Richie Rich at Consumer Appliance Support, man. You know we get it in. This is the function and the feature, man. Frigidaire, we really like this refrigerator, man. Really good refrigerator here for a reasonable price. All right, if you want to get it, you already know we out. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're going to focus on the warranty, the manufacturer warranty. Man, let's talk about it for a second. Of course, limited warranty on this Frigidaire refrigerator. Man, you're talking about 27.8 cubic feet, French door refrigerator. It says your appliance is covered by a 1-year limited warranty for 1 year from original date of purchase. Electrolux will pay all costs for repairing or replacing any parts of this appliance that prove to be defective in materials or workmanship when such appliance is installed, used, and maintained in accordance with the provided instructions. All right, so of course right now we're looking at the warranty section inside of the owner's manual, man. Again, this is going to be in the description box as well, but you can always go to Home Depot, type in your model number, go down all the way to the bottom where it says info and guide, and you can tap into where it said the owner's manual, warranty section, all that good stuff, all that good information is in there as well. Of course, but this appliance is only giving you a 1-year manufacturer warranty, parts and labor. All right, of course it has some exclusions, right? So when we're dealing with the exclusion, these are things that the warranty does not cover. The following, so these are stuff that we can look at, and this is information that you need to know, right? Because you want to make sure that as you purchase an appliance, you want to find out what type of warranty that each appliance may have that you decide to purchase, whether it's a washing machine, dryer, refrigerator, stove. You want to make sure exactly what you're getting. All right, for this particular product, it says product with original serial number that have been removed, altered, or cannot be readily determined. All right, so that's why it's important to make sure that your model number, you want to write it down inside the owner's manual as well. You can always take a picture of it, a screenshot. We have so many different ways to jot down information. If you want to do it the traditional way or the old school way, you write it down, put it in a folder just to make sure you have that information. All right, product that has been transferred from its original owner to another party or removed outside the US or Canada. Rust or interior or exterior of the unit, so they're not covering rust. Product purchased as is are not covered by this warranty, so you want to check that information out just to make sure whenever you're purchasing an appliance as is that you're not going to get the manufacturer warranty. Food loss due to any refrigerator or freezer failures. All right, this is really big. I know back in the day they used to cover this stuff from some of the manufacturers. Sometimes you might have an extended warranty that you can purchase and they will cover your food loss as well. So you can look at different information that probably will help you outside of the Frigidaire or the Electrolux warranty. All right, because it's the same company. Products used in a commercial setting, and we're gonna really just stop there. Of course, you want to make sure when you purchase an appliance, it's a residential appliance, so you only want to use it in your home and not for commercial use. You have so much information. Again, we could let this video scroll. You can always pause it, check the timeout to really find out what's covered and what's not. All right. And here it says, if you need service, keep your receipt, delivery slip, or some other appropriate payment record to establish the warranty period should service be required. All right. So as far as Electrolux, you do have numbers you can call, whether it's in the US or Canada. Frigidaire and Electrolux, again, it's the same brand, so you don't have to worry about that. Outside of the manufacturer warranty, man, you're looking at only a 1-year manufacturer warranty, both parts and labor. So for this particular grade for the warranty, you know we got to give it a 3, man, because it's average. It's an average warranty. All right, this is basic that you're getting with this appliance. Of course, this is it. We're done with the warranty section of this video. You know we in the lab dissecting this joint so that we can give you our overall grade. We out. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're going to focus on the price. How much it's going to cost you. Might cost you a little, might cost you a lot. Either way, it's going to cost you. All right, so let's look at the price for this Frigidaire 27.8 cubic feet French door refrigerator. All right, so we're going to use 3 sites. We're on Best Buy, Home Depot, and Lowe's. All right, so right now, if you're on Best Buy, you decided you want to go to Best Buy, check this unit out. On their website, they're selling it for about $26.99. All right, so you can say roughly with taxes, you're going to probably spend about $3,000. All right, so you want to think about that as well. The color that they have, it's only in the smudge-proof resistance, right, or stainless steel that doesn't get smudged up. Outside of that, that's really it, right? So you want to check out different sites. We're going to go to actual Home Depot to see if there's anything else, any better deals at Home Depot. Right now at the Home Depot site, you're still spending $26.99. Originally it's $29.99, and they're saving you about $300, which is 10%. All right, so you can actually see this appliance, smudge-proof, stainless steel, French door, 27.8 cubic feet. You're gonna spend $26.99. Like I said, roughly with taxes, you're talking about at least 3 stacks. All right, so just keep that in mind. And then you also want to check out to see if the product is listed in your area. All right, it says how to get it. It's not in my area, but again, it might be available for you. All right, let's see what Lowe's got. So sometimes Lowe's is a little bit too high, right? But let's see what Lowe's have right now. Right now it's consistent. You're looking at a price of $26.99 from Lowe's. Originally, just like Home Depot, it's $29.99, saving you 10%, which is $300. And the sale ends at a certain time, so you want to consider that as well when you're purchasing different appliances. Availability, you want to check out to see if there's any sales because of a holiday or any special sales that they might have, saving you some money. All right, so right now, man, you're looking at $26.99. Let's look at other appliances that's similar to this unit. If you're looking, you can actually see you have different Frigidaire 27.8, just a standard stainless steel 24, 29. right? You got $26.49, $23.49. You have the Frigidaire Gallery, which is a high-end appliance, so you're looking at $30.59, right? But that has 4 doors, the double doors at the bottom, so that's different from what we have. Other brands like Whirlpool, similar to the Frigidaire, that's $29.69, right? So you see that there. You have your KitchenAid, that's $30.59. Of course, that's going to be higher because it is KitchenAid. But when you're looking at different appliances, man, roughly you're going to spend about $3 grand for this appliance. So if we was given an overall grade for the price that we see here, we're going to give it a grade of 3. Uno, dos, tres. Why? Because it's an average price. You're not really getting that much of a discount. Depending on where you go, it was 29, now you're getting it for 26. It's not that much different from 3,000. With the taxes, you're gonna spend 3 grand anyway. All right, so we out of here, man. Still in the lab, getting it in. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, I'm going to focus on the parts. Man, how much is going to cost you to repair this appliance? If you happen to need to get fixed, there's no manufacturer warranty, and you need a service company to come out. For example, dealing with a refrigerator, our labor is a lot higher because refrigerator is just a little bit different, especially with there's 2 sides of the refrigerator. You have your standard mechanical side that you can actually repair. Then you have the side that deals with your compressor and your seal system. That can cost you a little bit more money, but we're going to go with the standard repair. Our labor is $220 plus the price of the part, and of course you already know we do a small little markup. If you got to deal with the seal system portion of it, we're talking about at least roughly about $300. I would say $350 as far as the labor to deal with your compressor, your evaporator coil, your condenser coil. When you're dealing with that type of stuff, that's how much it's going to cost you. All right, so let's find out how much it's going to cost you to repair this joint. So right now we're on a local site that we normally order parts from in the area that we're in. So let's see where we are. We're going to probably start off with the freezer drawer and basket, right? So we can start with something real simple. But one of the common issues when you're looking at this appliance that can go bad is that you might have issue with the door gasket wearing out, creating moisture. You can see the sweat, especially if you're dealing with the freezer portion of it. So when it sweats, the moisture tends to freeze up, right? And it affects your refrigerator because your compressor got to be working a lot harder because the door might be open and it's not closing properly. Gasket is worn out, it's broken, it's stripped. That's another issue there. You might have an issue with the door handle as well. So when you're looking at that, we can get into some of that stuff. Basket stuff, easy stuff you can probably repair yourself, but if you need a service technician, we can look at a lot of those as well. Not a real big issue. But if you happen to need a gasket, all right, so let's look at this gasket. You're talking about labor typically $168.96, and it's showing you exactly the price that we will probably get for the appliance because we're a service company. So they might charge you about $200 for this joint, and then after that you're talking about $200 for the part, $220 for the labor. You're talking about at least $420. Again, this is just an estimate that we're actually giving you guys as well, so that you'll be able to know how much this stuff costs. All right, let's see what else we got. You got your door, you got your door handles, you got your shelving and your racks and your railings. Those don't normally go bad, but over time they can rust. It can be difficult to open the door. So if we're looking at the door panel itself, you're looking at roughly $322.54. All right, so if you need that, you're talking about at least $400 for the part, labor $220. You're talking about $620. So refrigerators can be extremely expensive. So there's times where we might instruct the customer to get an extended warranty because refrigerators are high, unless you just want to kick out $400 or $500, depending on the issue and the trip that you might, the issue that you might have that you got to service the appliance. All right, 51 is like the railings. Again, you're talking about $206.17 if you happen to need that. All right, so those are the different railings, one on the left, one on the right. And you would need one on the left, one on the right, different numbers. You're talking about 205 in comparison to about 206. All right, so you can actually see that as well. Baskets, stuff like that, screws, all that stuff is you can get on your own. It's not a difficult thing. handles, all that stuff. You're looking at $129.94 if you happen to need a handle. If it's stainless steel, normally what happens is it might break because of the Allen key screw that's inside of that unit, and you might need a handle, but it's not difficult to do. If you happen to need a handle, you can probably do the handles yourself. But if you need a service technician, you're talking about at least it's $130. All right, so if I marked it up to about $200, labor $220, you're talking about $420 just for a door handle. All right, so let's get into a lot of this stuff here as well, so that we'll know what the prices are. All right, so when you're talking about gaskets, again, another gasket. This one is for the suicide doors or the French doors up top. Depending on the gasket that you need, both gaskets are the same. So sometimes the doors, you can say the door is similar both on the left or on the right hand side. So if you happen to need that, you know, you might be having the same part number for the door. It all depends if it might be a little bit different depending on if it's the left or the right. But I know for sure the gasket is the same. So this gasket retail, you're looking at $166.52. So again, another $200, $220 for the labor. You're talking about $420. All right, for the fresh door stainless steel left hand. All right, that is the actual door. Right now it's saying, according to this local site, part is no longer available. For the other door, it's the same exact thing. The right side, the part is no longer available. So you'll have to probably go outside of this local store that we use. You can go to SearsPartsDirect.com. You can go to RepairClinic.com. Those are the two sites that we normally use. You also use one called Appliance Doctor. Or Parts Doctor or Dr. Parts. Is either one of them. I'm not quite sure right at this moment, but if you happen to need that, that's what it's going to cost you. All right, shelvings. Again, shelvings, man, you can get shelving yourself. There's no way you should be contacting a technician to come out to replace your shelf. All right, these are things that you can actually purchase and buy yourself if you happen to need a shelf. Door handle, you're looking at $82.95, special order, stainless steel unit. Again, $100 for the part, $220 for the labor. You're talking about $320, and it's the same door handle on both refrigerators. So once you use the same one to order the other one. You also have your mullion, which is number 85, right? This here, mullion assemble the flapper that you normally, when you close a door, you're able to see it. You're talking about that can break, damage. There's a heating element inside of there as well to melt the moisture that can happen from the door being closed. That has to be on there so the door can close properly as well. So when you're looking at that, that's going to cost you some bread. But the part is coming up. No longer available for that particular one. All right, so again, you can look this up in other avenues to try to find the parts. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's deal with the cabinets on the inside. We're just gonna breeze through this a little bit. This is where you're talking about inside cavity, your evaporator fans in here, one for the refrigerator, one for the freezer, sensors, different stuff like that as well. So let's get into this boy. Motor and fan. So this is for your harness. That's number 13, right? So if you're looking at that, number 13. I'm trying to find that there. I don't see that there. One there. Actually don't see it on the schematic. I know it's here. I just will have to find it. Fan blade, motor, just $12.96. But either way, if you happen to need the fan blade or the fan motor, it's going to cost you some bread. All right. So you're looking at that part. It is. Let me see. Evaporator fan. I just saw the fan. Evaporator fan. Right. So it's $89.05. Right. So if you need that, part is $100, labor $220. You're talking about $220. You also have one here. Your air tower assembly complete with damper. That's number 10. That's the whole entire assembly that you see there that comes with the damper. Sometimes it comes together with the fans as well, and you just purchase it as an assembly because it could build up with ice. And when your refrigerator fan is rotating with the ice being built up, because your refrigerator normally defrosts, So if it's not defrosting properly, the ice sometimes build up right there where the fan is, and that prevents the fan from spinning. It creates a loud noise when the fan is operating. So you want to look out for that and try to get that service as soon as possible. If not, you could damage the fan blade, you could damage the motor, and if the fan doesn't spin or circulate, then of course you're going to have issue with the refrigerator staying cool. All right, so that whole entire assembly is going to cost you $138.02. So you're talking about $200 for that, $220 for the labor, $420. You have different lightings and door switches, 1646, not a common issue there, but if you happen to need a door switch, gasket air duct button, that's number 17. Again, a lot of these parts, man, the panels, you don't really need those. That don't normally go bad at all. It's mostly either the fan being built up or the fan shorting out, issues like that, building up with ice, not defrosting, leaking water. All right, so that's some of the biggest issue there. We have, is that the control board at number 50? So we can go through some of these. Most of the parts you would not need. The control, which is the main, $146.29. Actually, that's pretty good in comparison to an average control board for any other appliance. Again, marking it up to about $200. Labor $200, you're talking about $420. All right, here's the temperature sensor, real cheap, $48.79. They might charge you $100 for that. Labor $220, you're talking about $320. All right, so pretty straightforward. You know, most of the stuff is available. Like I said, it doesn't mean because it's not available on this site, it's not available at all. It's just this particular site does not have that information on the appliance. All right, so let's go into the shelvings. Shelvings, again, normally crack, they break, it's glass, they wear down over time. Right, so you got your ice maker here, your water filter as well. You have your different shelves that you have to replace. The shelving, you can do that yourself. I would not have anybody order me any shelves, because again, you got to pay for someone to come out to even install the shelves. They might charge you for that depending on how difficult it is or where they got to put it. But outside of that, man, just take your time and just put it in yourself. Water filter, we talk about being replaced every 6 months. So you want to do that. Refrigerator is smart enough to let you know that now that you need to replace it every 6 months as well. But you're talking about 50 to 51. Originally, you're talking about 66.48. Somebody come out, replace a water filter, they might lower the price on the labor just to accommodate you, but that's up to the company. All right, so you got to think about that as well. All right, so let's continue to keep rocking, keep rolling. Let's roll. Let's see what we got. Harnesses, damper, control. Really not much there. I don't think the ice maker's on there yet. Number 3, insulation of water. It doesn't have the ice maker yet, but we can get into that. Again, shelving, it depends on what you want. You can order the shelf yourself. Let's see what else we got. Controls and ice dispenser. So this is at the front where your control is. You can actually see that the control here that allows you to press the button to display what it is that you're pressing. You have your chute that the ice goes through, and the flap that comes as an assembly as well. Then you also have another display here that allows you, actually that's where the switch is. When you push your refrigerator, you put your cup on the dispenser, that's where that lever is to allow it to activate the switch, which is number 38C. All right, so we can get into some of that as well. You're talking about control board, dispenser, stainless steel with membrane, $151.61. Again, rounding it up to about $200. Labor $220. Talking about $420. Let's talk about the module assembly in ice and water, which is gray, complete. If you need that, that's no longer available for now. Your actuator dispenser, stainless, that's also not available as well, so you want to be careful with that. But if you happen to need the switch and dispenser paddle is $36.59, so you might spend about $75 for that. All right, talking about labor and parts. If you're talking about $75 and $220, you're talking about $295. All right, so outside of that, that's really it. Let's go into the ice makers, and that's one of the things that you have to be aware of as a customer. Ice makers can be really expensive, man. They're at least $200 a piece in reference to really just trying to purchase an ice maker. This year is housing and air handler. That's no longer available. That's that here, number 20. You have your fan here as well, and you have your ice tray and your auger motor that allows you to rotate to replace the so your ice can drop into the chute. There's the motor. You're talking about 11650 rounded up to 200, 220 plus the 200. You're talking about 420 bucks as far as the part. A refrigerator, ice maker, evaporator, fan, you have 106.74. Again, this is a part of the ice cooling process that allows your refrigerator to make ice and to stay cool. You're talking about 150 for the part, 220 for the labor, that's 370 bucks. All right. Doesn't have the ice maker on here though. I wish it did, but it doesn't show it on here, so I'm gonna have to see what else we can find. Just to at least give you an idea. All right, here we go. Here we go. So you got your evaporator, which is number 23. That's no longer available. Again, you might need it. You might have to look that up separately. We also have number 30, which is your housing assembly for your ice maker. That's no longer available here on this site as well. That's number 30. So this is number 30 here. So that's not available. But your ice maker is number 2. You're talking about 165.30. So they're gonna charge you at least 200 for that. Labor 220. You're talking about $420 for an ice maker. Your water valve, again, 113.68. If I charge you 150 plus 220, you're talking about 370 bucks. All right. So like I said, this stuff can get pretty expensive depending on what it is that you need. If you're trying to purchase an appliance, or get this appliance repaired, you're gonna have to spend some money. I didn't get into the cooling system. I think that was the one that I actually missed. Let's talk about the filter dryer. This is something that you need when you're replacing your evaporator, when you're replacing your compressor as well. Right, these are things that you actually need parts, which is $10.48. So it's not a difficult thing. Your evaporator, this is number 15, that allows your refrigerator to cool, right? The refrigerant flows through that, so there's no restrictions, no blockage. It cools. You're talking about 161.03. Again, part 200, special order according to this. But if you happen to need the labor, like I said, the labor is about 300 bucks. I'll give you 350 plus 200. You're talking 550 bucks. And you got to factor in the dye dryer here as well that you might need. So it depends on the company that comes out. You're gonna spend over 500 bucks to do a job like this, especially parts and labor. It's gonna cost you some bread. You have your condenser here as well, which is number 1, and your compressor. So we can go into some of that, and your fan, which is your condenser fan there as well. So yeah, we can go into that. Your condenser 9370, that's number 1 here. This big block box. So this is similar to if you have a central unit, central air, your central air unit, the box that's outside, that's the condenser unit. It blows hot air. Your refrigerator has the same thing, but a smaller portion, and it's in the back of the refrigerator. Or like back in the day, they had the old ones where you see the wires going in the back of the refrigerator. Same exact thing. All right, so that's gonna cost you some bread. All right, 152.49. Again, $200 for the part, labor $350. Then you got to get a dye dryer, so it's going to cost you some bread. A minimum at least 550 bucks, factor in parts and all that stuff too. So, all right, let's go into 29, which is your compressor. That is no longer available. But on average, when you're talking about compressors, man, compressors be like $400, man. On average a piece, 300 and something plus tax and all that stuff. So you're talking about 400 labor, you're talking about 350. So you're talking about almost 750 bucks to 800 bucks on average to replace a compressor on a refrigerator if it's not cooling. So basically cost you some bread for that, man. So you want to keep that in mind as far as repairing appliances, dealing with appliances. You also have your heating element, which is no longer available in that as well. So I see it, I notice it. There's a few parts that's no longer available. Again, it does not mean it's no longer available, it's just not available on this particular site. But we can factor that in the overall grade that we actually give this appliance as well. All right, so when you're looking at this appliance, man, we're coming to the conclusion where we're talking about the parts and how much it's going to cost you. We're going to give you the average and the total at the end of the video when we give you our total review to let you know how much it's going to cost. But it's going to cost you some bread. You already know who I am, man. I'm your boy Richie Rich. We out of here, man, dealing with the parts. Still in the lab, getting it in. I'm out. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're gonna focus on the parts. Man, how much it's gonna cost you on average to repair this Frigidaire refrigerator, man? So let's get into it real quick. Some of the common components that typically go bad on the refrigerator, man, you're talking about door gaskets, right? Sometimes they could be a little bit expensive. For this particular unit, it has the freezer at the bottom with the French door. We call it a bottom mount or French door refrigerator. For the freezer gasket, parts and labor, you already know on average, man, $220 for the labor plus the price of the part. You're talking about at least 420 bucks. If you're talking about the refrigerator gasket, again, individual gasket could cost you a couple $100. So you're talking about at least 420 bucks there. Door handle, if you happen to need a stainless steel handle, they don't tend to break, but it can happen. You're talking about for a door handle, like 420 bucks. Evaporator motor, talking about 320 bucks. Control boards, 420 bucks. The sensor, depending on the price, you're talking about 320 bucks. All right, so we're talking about the ice maker. Ice maker could be pretty expensive as well. So you're talking about 420 bucks for a water filter, $70. Man, so when we're looking at this appliance, on average, you're gonna spend about at least $405. We did check out the compressor, man, and the compressor on this particular model is no longer available, or it's not available on the actual site that we use. So you can actually contact Frigidaire, but on average, you're gonna spend about $300 and something for a compressor. All right. Talking about the filter dryers, dye dryers that come with the compressor as well. Typically, a job like that is gonna probably cost you about $700-800 bucks, depending on the price of all the parts. Then you got to factor in labor to put these things in. It takes at least a couple hours to do for the technician to make sure it's done properly, make sure the freon is recovered, make sure the freon is weighted when going in. It got to be I wouldn't say soldered, but brazed when you put the stuff in. So it all depends on what you got to do. It takes some time to get this job done, man. So seal systems is not an easy thing to do. It does take some time to make sure it's done right. So our overall grade, when we talking about the parts that typically go bad on this appliance, with a few parts coming up no longer available, man, we're gonna give it an average price of about $3, because it's gonna charge you, or it's gonna cost you about $405 in as far as repair costs if you happen to need to try to get this unit done. Let's focus on the next thing. Oh, forgot the 3. Uno, dos, tres. Let's focus on the next thing. My favorite part. The functions and the features. Man, when we talking about an appliance, man, with functions and features, let's dive into this Frigidaire refrigerator. You're talking about a crisp seal crisper with automatic humidity. Depending on how you're going to use the appliance, check out the functions and features, man. We dive into that joint to let you know exactly how we feel about this refrigerator, all the bells and whistles and all that as well. It also has adjustable temperature drawers. A lot of the refrigerators are starting to do this now, where you can have specific drawers designated for meats, juices, wine cellars. All right, so you want to look into that. Sodas, right? So they're really specific in what it is that you can actually keep cool when you're dealing with different refrigerators. It also has large door bin storage. All right, so these are one of the things that you can think about when you're purchasing the actual appliance. This one is 27.8 cubic feet. So there's times when it could be a decent size, or it's not big enough for all the stuff that you got to put inside the refrigerator. So they're trying to make it in a way where it's more, I would say, feasible for you to put stuff in so that you have enough space. That's why they have these large door bin. It also has an auto closed door if it's 5-inch or less. So it depends on how far you open the door. If you open them wide like that, it's not going to do that, of course. But if you do it about 5 inches or less, the door automatically closes, so you don't have to deal with the alarm going off or the door being left open, creating moisture, and of course having the compressor run for a long period of time because the door is not closed. All right, so that's another issue that you can have there. It also has pure pour water filter. All right, which reduces 99% of contaminants in the water. All right, so that's one of the cool features with this particular refrigerator. Also have even temperature cooling system. So you, again, check that out inside the function and features. Energy Star unit. As far as this particular refrigerator, smudge-proof, or you could call it a finger-proof resistance. All right, so when you're looking at this particular refrigerator, it has that. LED lights, that's one of the things that we like about the refrigerator. A lot of them are going away from the traditional light bulbs. One, it generates way too much energy, and the LED lights generate less energy. And of course, this is where you get a lot of the Energy Star, energy efficient stuff from. But if you happen to need a LED light, it's gonna cost you some bread, man. It's not like going to Big Lots or Lowe's and Home Depot or your Rite Aid and getting a light bulb for a refrigerator light bulb, which is like $5 or so. These lights could cost you about sometimes at least $100, almost $200, because it comes as an assembly and it's just unique. All right, so you're gonna have to pay for that. But check out the parts portion of the video. Next, this also have dual ice maker. All right, so that's one of the things that we really like about this appliance, that it has the dual ice maker. Right, you can get one in the refrigerator and one in the freezer, which is pretty dope. All right, so you can have multiple ice there, which is something that we really like about this refrigerator. No, it's not a smart appliance as well, so you can get, it's not remote start or anything like that, dealing with an app and all that type of stuff. It doesn't have those functions and features in there, but this is just a basic appliance from what I can remember. But from just looking at the function and features, we're gonna give it a 4. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. All right, so let's go over this overall grade when we're dealing with this appliance, man. Warranty, it is a 3. Price, 3. Parts, 3. Functions and features, a 4. Overall grade, you're looking at a 13 divided by 4. You're talking about a 3.25. All right, and that's where we at with this particular refrigerator, man. When we discuss these refrigerators, couple things that probably could help with this refrigerator. One, the price. The price could be a little bit lower because it's just a bottom mount freezer, right? It doesn't have dual doors, 4 doors or even 5 doors or anything like that. It's not a smart appliance as well, and it's still a Frigidaire appliance. All right, so it's not a high-end appliance, but just from looking at it, man, refrigerator is going to cost you some bread. It's going to cost you some money. This is roughly about the average price for a refrigerator, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and I think that it could be lowered as far as the price. The warranty could be a lot better, especially if you got to spend $3,000 for an appliance, man, and you're only getting a 1-year manufacturer warranty. If they had just those 2 adjustments, that would help the overall grade, a 3.25 for this particular appliance. And you already know we can't recommend nothing like that, man. So unfortunately, Frigidaire, you are out of here. But of course, you already know who I am. I'm your boy Richie Rich from Consumer Appliance Support. You already know. You help me, I help you, we both help each other. Till next time, I'm out of here. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.